Welcome back, everybody. We're going into hour number 6 of RollPlay Live. Nebula Jazz. Shit is going down. We have learned that the Jack is some kind of horrible tentacle blob, and he's trying to eat Eugene. Rex, you get the lay of the land, right? Because you're the fastest one here. Before Aurora tries to activate the scepter, you have an opportunity to do something. What is it you would like to do?
Bonus.
Wait, what? He gets a chance to do something.
Because this is where we're at, right? Eugene was the last one to go.
No.
But he tried to eat me.
Oh, right.
So
Aurora was the last one.
No, yeah, you gave it to Aurora.
When,
Aurora
Eugene
got the scepter.
Rex.
Yeah, that's right. So Rex goes before Aurora.
But didn't
but Jack
Jack
just
tried
tried
to
to
eat
eat
Eugene?
So
Yeah,
that was an
and then
action
on-
that Jack took,
And
right?
I haven't
Right.
done anything.
Oh, I thought I
yeah.
thought on this turn you gave the scepter to her, but that
was the previous
before
turn.
he flipped it. Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah.
yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. So when we see you, do you want to do anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't start at the top.
So when I was running towards the doorway, I wasn't trying to flee. I was trying to get to wherever Sparky's head ended up, so I could inform everyone that we have not only the scepter, but that Jack. Hey, space jackers! Jack is like an amorphous purple blob beast and has been lying to all of you, kind of deal. So we could show them through Sparky's eyes what the hell this guy is. Because we need them on our side, because I don't know what's about to happen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so that was my
So
plan.
basically turn all the fleets against him.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and go make a roll. You're so you pick up Sparky's head and like, alas, poor Sparky.
Yeah.
And we see, throughout the fleet, right, there's a shot of like the bridge of the greaser ship, and Slipknot and his one eye is like, staring at the screen. He sees you pick it up. We see the tiki the tiki clan like ship, and it's all like ugly Hawaiian statues and like fake grass everywhere, and like the captain is like a woman in a hula skirt.
With a coconut
she's like
bra.
sipping,
Coconut bra.
she's sipping an umbrella drink.
Yeah, yeah, totally badass
Curiously.
looking like alien lady. Maybe she's like a lady sharkanoid in a hula dress. She's like
Of course, it's a tiki sharkanoid. It's perfect.
tiki
Yeah.
sharkanoid. Yeah. Okay. So we get these things, and then we can see that you're picking those things. But also, like on the planet, we cut down to the planet, and we see people on Dead Man's Reef, like looking up at the sky, and they see all these ships floating overhead, and Jack's giant moon head is close enough to see some of the features, and so everybody is seeing this. This is Quinn like picking it up and broadcasting all around. So, what do you say? Look into the camera, Quinn.
Oh god, now I'm camera shy. Quinn picks up the head, and the first thing he says is like, "Is this on?" And then he turns it around. And he's like, "This is who Jack is. This is the person trying to take the scepter."
Just like this weird purple and
Yeah,
green
and
thing.
so we cut down to the planet. There's two people watching like a viewport on a pole, and one of them says to the other, "Is like, is it the purple one or the green one? I can't tell the difference." I'm like, is that one thing or two things? And they're like,
There's two purple tentacle monsters in a bar, and one of them goes, "I know that guy."
it's like they're rolling around. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Quinn's like, he was gonna use us, all of us. This thing, whatever it is, it's not our Jack. And then he sort of like puts down the head so we can see everything. And I would assume, because Eugene's probably doing something the exact same time that I'm talking, that no, actually what happens is as he's talking and he's saying like this isn't who you thought he was, like that kind of stuff. There's the flash of light happens.
Oh, okay.
And so while I'm talking, Eugene's doing whatever Eugene's doing.
Sure.
So it's all happening
Okay.
simultaneously.
So Eugene.
Oh gosh. So he's eaten part of me now.
He's trying to. You have the stress is from you like pulling away. He's just trying to jam you into his mouth.
Okay.
Mouths.
I wanna discover another. Oh well, there's that too. Actually, I forgot about that stunt. Okay, I want to use my talk my way out of a situation stunt.
Okay. All right, this is the situation you want to talk your way out of.
You really don't want to eat me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you say that convinces him not to eat you?
Green
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna be
purple
like,
just makes brown slime. You don't want to look like poo, do you?
I'm gonna be like, wait. You don't want to eat me. All right, I got all kinds of weird stuff going on inside of my body.
You don't know where I've been, Jack.
You don't want to do this. You really, really don't. Like, you've got important stuff to do. I've got important stuff to do that has nothing to do with getting in your way at all or trying to stop your heinous plans or whatever. This whole time I'm just like.
So he just like balls you up and he throws you aside and like a booger flicked against a window, you just and like slide slowly down. And he's like, the king doesn't have any time for you, blob. And like turns to pay his full attention to Aurora. Rex, what would you like to do?
So you just see a
wanna
booger
take your
get
shot?
flicked.
Yeah.
That's what the Electrotronians
he's
like.
gonna go after them. Like if whatever Aurora
does
does doesn't please him on his turn, he'll go after her. But you could try to like get his attention. You got the pistol in hand. You're ready to take the shot.
So all of this is happening before, like I'm just
before the light.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
just for the sake of the scene.
All three of these things are happening at once.
Okay.
And then Aurora will activate and that'll be Deceptor. So.
Okay. Yeah. Rex is. You ain't going anywhere. And then fires the stranger's pistol at like the 3 tentacles he's using to balance himself.
Ah, nice.
In a hope of like stalling him from reaching Aurora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Good. All right. We'll go ahead and make an attack. I think you're attacking forcefully, but you've got the pistol.
Okay.
He is going to have to defend. He can't defend flashy because he isn't really paying attention. So I think he's just going to defend with careful, probably.
All right.
Got lots of tentacles. So I'm going
Wow.
to add 2. All right. I got a 3.
I got 5.
Okay. I'm going to use your winded, so you're not as good a shot as you normally
I'm
are.
gonna use
So you're
the stranger's pistol, so
Okay.
I am.
There you go. Okay. So I think that's the thing is that you like you feel like the wound from when you got kicked in the chest earlier, and your aim starts to falter, and then you feel
It just feels right.
You feel the pistol like lift up. Yeah. And somewhere in the cargo hold, there's 2 pistols spinning around, shooting pointlessly at everything. And you pull the trigger, and in slow motion, the chamber like snaps back, and it ejects a shell. Where did we land on total points? I had 3. I had 5, I think, for mine. Right, 3.
Yeah, you got 5. I've got 7.
5. And you got 7. Yes, right. Okay, so
Cool.
he takes a hit.
Yeah, we got him.
Yay!
That's right.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Okay. All right. So he takes a hit. I'm gonna mark him some stress. And you like the bullets. The bullet tears through 2 of the tentacles. They erupt. He topples over sideways. Kind of, he's like a sphere. He falls over sideways and then has to
Stands up with some other legs.
and lifts himself up on these other legs. But he takes a second to like pick up the tentacles and reincorporate them into his goopy amorphous form. And several eyes kind of appear on the back that grow up out of his back and look at you like angrily.
Yeah.
Maybe a little hand comes out, gives you one of these.
Rex just yells, Aurora, now!
And then Aurora, you're clutching the scepter, shaking. What are you trying to do? You can feel both in yourself and in the scepter a massive power that is being damned by something. It's being held in the scepter. It's being held in you. There's a massive potential of energy here. But if you release it, you may not be able to control it.
I'm going to activate my next stunt. Because I am a part of the Electrotronian hive mind, once per session, I can gain an insight from it.
Okay.
I'm going to gain an insight on how to control it.
So,
Or
all
try
right.
to.
So we get a flash into the hive mind, and I think we see this is all happening, right? The light is starting to glow in the ship.
I want to see Grandpa giving me advice.
So this is the thing. We cut over to the ship, and there's more like the inside of the Electrotronian ship, and we hear the speech of the Electrotronians. The subtitles read, "We have an information request from the network, sir," and your grandfather makes a noise. Actually, he's just speaking English, and he says, "Who is it?" And the subtitles read, "It's her," and he says, "Yes, it's time she knew." And then we see you, and your eyes turn like blue, and like light is coming out of them, and you get dumped a bunch of information from the hive mind. So I think you
Too much information.
Yeah, totally. You're like,
I just wanted help.
So you I mean, I think you see kind of like very quickly flashes of images of like a preschool with a bunch of like human kids running around, and it's very much that kind of like X-Men babies thing where like you see a kid like focusing on trying to lift some blocks, and like another kid, they're doing the like an adult is like holding up a sign and looking at it, and they're trying to guess. They're like heart, and then like shake their head and put it down. So they're doing all these like tests on these kids. All the kids have like electrodes on them and shit.
Yeah.
And then we see you like by yourself, like off in a corner, and you like just have your hands out, and all the little like letter blocks are like floating around in like a double helix. And there's Grandpa and like there's a scientist, but she's like your friend from later. They just keep repurposing the same image, and they're like nodding and like, And then we see you being taken away, and you're like crying, and all the other kids are crying, and like being taken away from your friends, and then we see you wake up in your new like sitcom house, but we see it from sort of the producer standpoint. So it obviously only has 3 walls, and like they're watching you and studying you. There's a little like power graph on the table. And then we see the Alexatronians meeting with the Mingasi Imperium, right? Remember you have that vague memory of like the Duke.
Yeah.
So we see that, and we see your grandfather. We see the scepter, and you see a cloaked like Alexatronian. You can't see anything about them except they're like robot like android arm, and they're giving the scepter to one of the Agarans, and you don't have context for that, but they're like giving it away like to hide it or something. Like it's very clandestine.
Yeah.
You see an Agaran ship take off, and then the scene kind of like fizzles, and then you're standing in like a vast white empty like plane. Like there's featureless nothing. You're inside what probably would have been like a part of the library, but it's been destroyed. And you see your grandfather there, and he says. I'm sorry we couldn't tell you the truth earlier.
Why not?
Shakes his head. The universe is a dangerous place, Aurora.
It still is. I
He
could have
nods.
been prepared. You could have prepared me for this. Look at me now.
Getting paper.
He says, yes. Well, things aren't turning out as optimally as we had hoped. We've had to accelerate plans. I'm sorry you couldn't be a part of it after you left Alexatron. We thought it best to let you grow on your own.
Well, now what? I have this scepter that you never told me about, that I never knew what it was, and now what do I do? What do I do with it?
He shakes his head. He said, if we had been able to finish your training, then maybe you could have told us. The scepter is old, older than we are, ancient and powerful. Mingasi wanted to use it to continue expanding their empire, and we were forced to go along with it. We thought you would be able to help us stop them. The scepter is the only
bad guys.
The scepter is the only thing strong enough, but you weren't ready to wield it. You aren't ready. If you activate it now, there's no knowing what could happen. But we've learned from our mistakes. Your decisions are your own, Aurora.
That scepter.
Yeah, and I think he's like we have like the hive mind that you have returned to over and over and over your whole life for information. Suddenly it's just like 404 information not found. Like sorry, this is new territory for us.
Damn it, Grandpa.
And he says Aurora, sweetie, sometimes there are things that even your old grandpa doesn't know. And he kind of pats you on the shoulder and he's like, good luck, sweetheart.
As he says that, I'm like, be ready to shut this down then.
And he starts to like turn into cubes and disappear, and you're kind of returned to reality. All of that happened in a split second.
I turn around and I face the glass and I go, just right at the glass.
Okay, and then you're just gonna like open the
Fucked up.
floodgates.
He was trying to help you.
Yeah, he was trying to help.
He wasn't helping. He said, good luck.
You're such a rebellious teenager.
No, he's such a shit.
Yeah. Such a shit kid.
I am. He lies to me my whole life and then goes, ha, good luck.
So
Yeah,
you're gonna
screwed.
unleash the power of the scepter.
Do it.
So much untapped power.
It's all you can do.
I have to.
Okay.
I have to try.
Elvis.
And you want to try to so I guess you can tell me what you're trying to do with it, and then we can make a roll, and I'll tell you what happens.
I'm just trying not to let it overwhelm me like it did last time. I don't necessarily need to know exactly how to perfectly use it yet, but I just need to know how
so you're just
it
gonna
won't
open
overwhelm.
the fire hose and hope it doesn't knock you over.
You're just gonna point it at Elvis.
Well, no, hopefully I'm not pointing it at anybody.
Kill him. Use it.
Okay, as I touch it, I quickly point it at the purple glob.
But he said yes.
Yeah,
when you went to touch it, I think he likes it.
No, I think you should.
All right, so
I think you should
let's.
fry him with it.
So your intention is to use it as a weapon to destroy him.
But no, right now my intention is solely just to gain control of it, not use it as a weapon.
No way.
Rex
I say
yelled-
We use it as a weapon
Rex
on him
yelled-
to see what happens.
Rex shot
I
him in the
wanna see him
legs
become
and
a
then yelled,
super god.
"Now, Aurora!"
Now, Aurora, and you're like,
implying
"Yeah, point
Okay,
it out.
fine. Okay, I feel the peer pressure of my peers, and I'm
Thank you,
like,
teen.
here you go.
Okay.
Thank you. If
All
this
right,
hits any of
guys.
you, it's on you
We
guys.
finally overcome Teen X.
All right.
Peer pressure.
Make a
One true weakness.
flashy
Of a
roll,
team.
I guess.
Flash like,
'Cause,
I'm
like-
gonna do it.
Yeah, you're going all Super Saiyan, like what? Because you're not
This is
really
my
being
true
forceful.
power.
I
Guys,
feel
I
like
really
if
want
anything, I'd be more forceful than anything. Or I
I
mean,
guess forceful is fine too.
I could argue. I mean, you could argue flashy, clever, or forceful. Honestly, I feel like
I don't think you could argue clever. I think you want to argue clever, but I don't think there's any.
tried to
you're just
hack into the
letting,
mind
I
first.
think it's
I
flashy.
tried
You're just
to
letting
be,
the pure.
I think
You
it's
think it's
flashy.
flashy?
I think we're gonna.
I mean,
go
I can't. I think you can't help it being flashy.
All right, so
'Cause it's just-
attempting
You're
attempting
pointing
It's a
a
bright light.
light
Very
cannon.
attempting
At
to
the bad
control
guy.
the scepter is a monumental task, given that you didn't finish your training.
Boy, here we go.
So I'm gonna say it's difficulty 8.
But I had
Oh.
training.
Not enough.
You didn't
And
finish
Jack
it.
doesn't know shit.
You're Luke Skywalker in Empire. You didn't finish your training.
Go ahead and
You
roll
can't
there.
beat your Darth Vader. Not now.
Difficulty 8.
I'm not gonna be able to beat that.
You
Well,
can't
it's
get
too
that.
late. You know the difficulty, so make
I
the
can't.
roll.
I can't even get that.
You got two fate points over here because he's an elder evil. So
You
you
could
got
make
that
8.
going on,
You could make 8.
and you have your own fate points.
But since I'm being
Roll the dice.
obnoxious, can I use my?
This is not
stunt?
obnoxious.
Hold
this
on.
Is
How
like
is this
Hold on.
not a?
Hold
cascading
on.
magical
Hold on.
violence. What?
I want to compel Dave.
You don't know any of Dave's aspects.
I want to
You
compel.
can't compel
I
without
do
an
know.
aspect.
I do know. Dave was trained with her.
No, you gotta have the. So I get what you're trying to do here.
I want Dave to Gamora, her Peter Quill, and I want them to hold hands and combine
you know
their
what?
powers.
You know what? We're not. This isn't gonna be a compel. This is just a good suggestion. So I'm gonna go with it.
As I'm like losing control, I just see this.
You don't know what it
hand.
is. Yeah. So you're just like, and it starts to like go off, and like beams of light are fucking flying everywhere, and then behind you, you hear just this like, dude, and you like look, and in the brilliance light, you just see Dave like fucking reaching out to you, like Adam in that painting. So he's just like reaching for your hand, like, let me help you, bruh.
As he's eating still.
Totally, yeah. He's like his other hand, he just like brings a sandwich out.
He's got the hoagie still. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. So do you take Dave's hand?
Yeah, I take Dave's hand.
All right, cool. So you grab him, and then he's like the light kind of flows through him, and he's just like, and like the light's just it's like bogus, and
His hoagie just like incinerates. Yeah, it evaporates.
No, dude, my hoagie, bro. All right, so you can make your roll. Dave will assist you. You can have another
We
plus.
need
You
fan
have,
art of
you have a
that,
plus
so-
one. You have a plus one.
Okay, so I got I guess a 3,
Okay, all right.
and I needed an 8 still.
You do need an 8. Yeah.
Does Dave help mitigate some of that?
Dave helped. Dave gave you the plus 1. Now you've got enough fate points here. You got the two there if you want to use them both, and you've got one of your own, right?
But he can invoke your consequence, remember?
It's true.
Yeah.
But
I
I
mean-
can't invoke it to make her reroll or reduce her thing. She's going against a static target number.
Okay.
If I were attacking her, I could do it.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay, cool.
Or
That's good
resist
to
her.
know.
It's only on
That's
my
I
good
mean-
to know just in general.
Go for it. Spend it all.
Okay,
dump
yeah.
everything in.
I am going to use the Synthomagus.
Right.
And,
yes, because the
um,
only reason you have any ability to control it is that you've
Yeah.
been groomed for this. Yeah.
And then I want to get into the I'm a robot, because the only reason I know this is because of the Electrotronians. So I'm
Okay.
tapping into what they taught me. What
So
I
this
do know
is
about
this
it.
moment is about
And
uniting.
then Dave.
Dave
Yeah.
is your human side, and your training and your connection to the network is your robot side, and they're finally like working in unison.
They're actually working
All right,
together
that's
for
really
once.
Good. That's awesome.
So,
They're
and then
never
I have to
existed.
use one of those.
Okay, and then so the scepter is drawn to him. So I think we get that kind of Ghostbuster looking proton thing where it like flies out in a random direction, starts burning through things. We see the ship from the outside, and like a big arc of lightning kind of rips through one side, and a bunch of jackers get blown out into space. And then you finally manage to get the beam pointed straight, and it fires. The head of the scepter begins to glow, and a beam of pure white light fires out of it. And so what we see is we cut out to Jack's head, and Jack's face is tilted towards the planet. His eye just blows out, and a big beam of white light flies out of his eye, flies down, hits Dead Man's Reef, rips right through the planet, goes out the other side. Like volcanic eruptions start happening on the planet. The head starts to like break apart. Bits of ship are like floating in space. The last thing that you see Jack do as he looks as the beam is about to hit him, and I guess the people who are closest to him, which would maybe just be Eugene, he's like, yes, finally, oblivion, and then blows apart.
Oh my
He
god!
wanted
All he
to
wanted
die.
was to die.
And then you hit the planet, and the planet starts to like go into catastrophic failure, and then it stops suddenly, and you like stagger forward, and the ship starts to like fall out of orbit. We just see Jack's head like tilting and like drooping towards this now erupting like destruction planet.
So we run now.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would imagine the vacuum of space is sucking us out. This
Yes, and so there's like
room right now.
tempest inside. You're clutching the scepter, and we cut to the bridge of the Mingasi like fleet ship, and we see the Duke, and he's been watching all of this, and we can see next to him there's another one of his like commodores or whatever, an admiral, and the admiral's like, he says, should we do something, sir? And the Duke looks at the planet and he says, Admiral, do those people pay taxes? And the Admiral's like, we're outside of Imperium territory, sir. And the Duke is like, let them perish. And he says, we'll sort through the rubble after and find the scepter. I think this thing will tidy itself up neatly. And he just kind of like grins as
R.I.P.
the
ex-girlfriend mechanic. of
as
Rex's.
as the head starts to like drift down towards the planet. Yeah, I mean Thuja and Edina are on the planet, but Thuja's pretty competent. So we'll scoop Jack up here because he's just been obliterated by the
Damn.
power of the
Hi,
scepter.
Jack.
Poor
Um,
Jack just wanted to die in the
He
end.
just wanted
He
to
just
die.
wanted
Then
to
why
die.
fight us?
He got what he wanted.
That's the only way I could get him to die, I guess. Or he'd get me to kill him.
So you still like this is the thing though, you were only in control of the scepter for just a second. So I think that we cut back to you and there's chaos and panic as the window is broken, starting to suck shit out into the vacuum of space. The scepter is still like pulsing and firing off white beams in random directions that are just like ripping the ship apart. And I think like Quinn, you're fairly close to her. You have to duck as one like flies past your head.
I like throw it at Dave. I'm like, no, like hot potato it. Like,
Okay. Well, you
So-
let it go, and it just sort of floats into space and just continues to like pulse and fire like beams.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well then I'm gonna
And Dave's
gonna
like,
do it anyway. I'm
Dave,
just gonna-
Dave points. He's like, "Turn it off, dude. Turn it off."
Rex runs to like a panel next to the door and rips it open, and there's like a couple of like breathing masks.
Yeah, nice.
And
Okay.
he like grabs a few, and he just like tosses one to Quinn.
Okay.
Yeah. Like puts one on Dave's face as Dave's like, "What are you doing?" He's just
Yeah.
like puts it on his face.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the ship is like torn apart and starting to fall. What's everybody doing now?
We gotta
'Cause you gotta
find
get
the
off the
escape pod.
spaceship. Yeah.
Quinn is holding back Aurora and Dave from like getting sucked out into space with one foot clamped to the floor and another foot like holding the dog head. And he's like, "Now would be the time, Slipknot."
How big is this hole?
The hole in the window, like big.
It's a
It's
giant,
the entire eye.
giant
it's
eyeball.
a
of
huge
his head.
eyeball.
Okay, so I couldn't plug it.
You could try it. You could try to expand your whole
my
thin
God.
I want to.
body
I
over
want
the
to try to do
hole.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The noise of you with
The edges all like
Because
flapping.
we've already established that slimes are fine in space.
Yeah.
They just can't steer themselves. So.
Totally.
What if the scepter like hits you?
All right. So
It
to
wouldn't
plug.
kill you, just blow a hole in you a little
Just
bit.
You guys
Slide
can't
one
get
off.
out right now. Space is literally sucking you away from the door.
To plug the hole, I think it's going to be a clever, let's say clever 4. I think you
can do it.
have a chance.
4.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
So describe it to me when Eugene has a moment of like, I can help.
Just like, I start off as a ball and like whip half of myself over to the other side and then just kind of like slowly unravel myself like up to like plug the whole
Like
thing.
a
Just
fruit roll up. Cool. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
there is that horrible sucking noise. Everybody's ears kind of start popping, and then you like get stuck around there and you seal tight.
and I'm just like, get out, you idiots.
All right.
Yeah, Quinn grabs Aurora and Dave and is just like booking it down the hall.
Okay. So you grab him, and Dave's like, wait. And you like, do you stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I give him like a look of like, what?
And he points, and there's like a little like a meatball that's like rolled under a chair, and he's like, my hogue.
And Quinn
Wait, what about the scepter?
It's still shooting lasers everywhere.
Yeah. Quinn sees the meatball and then looks up at the scepter. And he's like, and just keeps going.
Yeah, and so you have to carry him, and he's just like, no, meatball. All right, so you run out. Where are you headed?
I'm going to try and get to the hangar.
Get back to the hangar.
Get us out of here.
Okay.
I imagine someone else, Rex, will handle that scepter. 'Cause
I already intended to.
good, buddy, good.
All right. So Rex, we cut to you.
Rex kind of like fits on his like half mask breather and his goggles, and he's like, Eugene, once they're out, you're coming with me. And as soon as the door shuts behind them, he like waits for Eugene to like decompress, and they're gonna like get sucked out into space and aim for the scepter.
Okay, so you want to grab, because the scepter's inside. It's just floating in the room, blasting lasers everywhere. You want to try to grab it and then like jump outside with Eugene?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I don't know what you want to do, but
Okay, so you start to unfold, and you immediately, like, the top half of you gets sucked out, and you're, like, flapping. Noise, like flapping in the wind, getting like sucked out yourself, and just wind is blowing. Okay, so you can make a roll to try to grab the scepter without getting blasted by it.
Yeah, let's do
Eugene
it.
should try, yeah?
I think I wait for the interval of the beam and then like quickly like try and grab it between sessions.
Yeah, right. So you're like doing the Indiana Jones. You're like 1, 2, and you're gonna try to lunge for it. Okay.
Look, I hope you roll badly so you can lose an arm and it'd be awesome. You like have a creepy
I'd actually
vaporized
be
arm.
into that.
Difficulty 4.
That'd be awesome.
6.
cool.
Okay. All right.
Good work.
So the scepter, I think that you do it, right? So you're like, all right, 1, 2, and you lunge for it. You grab the scepter, and when you do, Eugene, you're the only one that sees this because there's no recording, there's nobody around. There's a flash, and you see for a second Rex and the prince like overlaid. Like you haven't seen the prince in ages. You see them, and they're like overlaid.
I saw him when he was dead.
Yeah, and the flash in the flash they separate. They go like that, and then you can see normally again, and you don't see the prince. Rex, you feel a sudden deep, powerful emptiness inside for just a second when you grab the scepter.
Okay.
And then it's filled with racking pain. So you like drop to one knee, you feel this like white fire kind of pour through you. And you can see your bones. Like if you look at your hands, you can see the scepter is just like rushing its energy through you.
Like X-ray stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Totally.
you see the prince anymore?
I guess not your bones, like your cartilage.
I'm not really concerned about that
Yeah,
right now.
he hasn't, he hasn't looked for him.
I haven't
I'm
looked
saying,
for him.
He might be able to help you in this situation, but
I mean, I think
Anyway, you're about to be sucked outside. So that's the more pressing concern.
Yeah.
So what's the plan now? Like Eugene, you're just gonna curl up in a ball.
Does your mask make it so that you can breathe in space?
it does now.
Yeah, it's fine. He's fine.
what
do you mean?
The rules.
Okay, great.
Does now.
It'll be fine.
Okay. And the scepter is still blasting or no?
He's holding it. No, it's just dumping all its energy into Rex now.
Okay. You okay, buddy? What's going on over there?
I can't speak.
Yeah, I think. I think at this point, like you're peeling away from you're getting sucked out of the ship now. Eugene, you're just like stretching
Right.
away, kind of clinging to the edges with the last little bits of you, and then boom, you get sucked out into space.
Should just grab me and pull me.
I was gonna say, can I don't want to pull him though. Can I just like try to just grab the scepter and like pull it out into space with me? Why not?
I'm gonna get sucked out anyway. You were the thing stopping me from
God.
going into space.
Eugene's gonna Groot himself.
Just grab me and be a homie. We'll ride it out together. Ride or die.
Just
no,
be a
that's not how it
homie.
works. Eugene's got to. Oh.
But if we're grabbing onto it together, then we're both gonna like this thing has overwhelming
No,
power.
just grab me.
Okay.
You have.
Can
the
you
thing,
drop
right?
it?
Yeah, you can like pull someone out.
I know, but can you drop it?
Well, I think I need to take it with me, right? Or it's just gonna stop beaming again.
But you said just take me.
Yeah, like I'll
I'm
hold
so
it,
confused with
and
this
then you
plan.
grab me, and we'll get pulled into space, and we'll be the heroes.
So you're
What? So we get to be heroes.
so you're holding the scepter, and you can see that Rex is being like lit up from inside, and then
Right.
it's starting to like destroy him. And he's got the scepter, and he's like reaching out to you with this like fishy hand. Yeah, and Eugene, what are you gonna do?
Well, I do want to. I want to separate him from the scepter is what
Sure.
I'm wanting to do, but he doesn't want me to do that. So
Because I want to
But you can do that.
I'm
You
gonna-
You have your ability that lets
I
you do
know.
that.
I want to
I'm gonna-
boomerang that shit into space.
Okay. I'm
this
gonna
noble
grab
slime.
you
Uh-huh.
and be like, just drop it, you idiot! And like,
He's just like roaring in pain, like as the fucking leg thing.
Yeah.
okay, I'll just pull him out into space with me.
Okay.
Okay. So the two of you
I'm
and the
using
scepter.
I'm using my stunt,
float on
just
the-
to be clear.
So now you wanna pull him free of danger, right?
Right.
The danger here isn't him being in space; it's the scepter.
It's
so
the
you can
scepter.
separate him and the scepter by using that stunt.
Do it.
I want to do that.
Let's
Okay.
go one way and you
All right.
make the scepter go the other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it stays in the ship or something.
No, I
so
think
how you're gonna have to like pull it out of his hand, right?
Right.
So you wrap a tendril around you and just like yank it out of his hand as you pull him out into space.
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna do with it? It's like shooting fucking energy beams or whatever.
So while you're
That's why I
holding it,
grabbed
it just
it.
shoots energy beams?
no.
No.
While I'm holding it, it's not shooting energy beams. But if I let go, it will just shoot random energy beams again
But
and
if you
kill
hold
everyone.
it will vaporize you and then shoot energy beams.
Yes.
Right.
You could try
So,
to you
like-
could try to contain its power, Eugene.
That's what I'm
With your
like.
gelatinous body.
Is there any way that I can just like
Yes.
coat it in
Totally.
my body?
Yes.
Okay.
You could.
He has a
I
knife.
wanna,
You
I
can
wanna,
try.
I
Okay.
want to just like coat it in my body so that it can't
Okay.
do anything
So
anymore.
you see, you're holding onto it. You're like, all right,
An
we gotta
iron
get it away
stomach.
from me. And pull it into space, and yeah, you see Eugene yank it out of your hand, and your vision starts to clear again, and then you see Eugene like form like
I look
a
up to see him like
cocoon.
floating out to space.
Yeah, like forming a cocoon
and he
around
forms
this
a
thing,
slime cocoon around the stuff.
and it's just like shooting energy, and you're just trying to like absorb it with your goopy body.
Yeah.
So in case
Um,
you just like make a hole in Eugene, then he like reforms
So
it.
Yeah.
so make yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like shooting beams out, and then you like try to close the hole, and you're trying to like hold it in. Basically, you're just hugging it out with the scepter.
Yeah.
So make a forceful roll, maybe.
Oof.
And yeah, and we'll see how this goes for you. Oh, that is
Not
not
good at all.
That is not a good roll. So you got two
My-
minuses. So you're at what?
-1.
-1. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Not
So
my
you
fault.
can
You told me to do
contain
it.
you can contain the scepter's power if you want to. You can let it go. You could also just like hurl it out into space. You're like, I can't handle it, and throw it out into space.
Right.
But if you want to hang on to it, it will forever and irreparably change you in some way, to be revealed later.
You're now pink.
This is your hero
I'm
moment.
holding on.
This is your hero moment.
I'm gonna push.
This is Eugene's origin story.
I'm gonna push Rex away from me
Mm-hmm.
because I can tell I can't contain it, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna push Rex away from me and just
Okay.
like coat my entire body around it.
All right. So we see from a distance. Maybe you don't see this, but Rex, you see as you're drifting away. You see Eugene form around the scepter and start to like glow, like with a like pulsing, and then starting to fall into orbit away from you, and start to like glow, and basically becomes like a comet of like green like fire that just like drifts over the horizon and disappears.
Okay. I think Rex at this point is like also getting pulled out into space, and it's like the last thing I see, and then I just like go unconscious.
Yeah, totally. And you're floating backwards, and I think that before we cut over to these two, we see a shadow like pass over you, and we can hear like a ship like.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, the two of you are like, and Dave are like running through the halls of the ship. There's like dead Elvis impersonators everywhere.
The chapel's on fire.
Yeah, totally, exactly. Yeah, there's a bunch of Elvises like all hip shimmying in the chapel, like praying to Elvis. And you're running through this chaos, and you get to the shut teeth. And yeah, the ship's automated alarm system is like, we're going down, baby. And and so you run in, and you can see several of their Jacker like vehicles, and you can see your like Cadillac there. And I think that there's a crackling sound over a radio nearby, and you hear Slipknot, and he's like, Quinn, are you there? Can you hear me, Quinn?
Yeah, I'm here. What?
Press the button, and he's like, you got to get out of there. That head's going down. We've got ships outside, but I can't get in. There's some kind of emergency field. You got to get outside.
Quinn's like, I'll work on it.
Space jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quinn tells him to that Quinn's like, I'll get us outside. You destroy the ship.
Okay. All right. So we cut over to the bridge of the Imperium ship, the Mingasi flagship, and the Duke, the Admiral says to the Duke, what should we do about the Alaxatronians, sir? And the Duke is like, Nothing. Leave them. They know their place. And the Admiral is like, and the Jackers? And Mako grins, and he says, well, without Jack, they're helpless. We came all the way out here. Why don't we finish them off? And the Admiral nods, and he's like, yes, sir. And he turns around, and he says, deploy the fighters. And we see the flagship kind of like open these like ventral shafts, and all these little drones start flying out, and then just fly into the pirate fleet and start shooting at the big tiki head shaped ship and like all the little ones that are flying around.
Do they resemble like little powdered wigs? All the drones.
They're like Fabergé eggs.
Wig
basically.
fighters?
Oh yes,
Wig
yes.
fighters?
Yeah, they're Fabergé eggs. And they just
Fabergé
fly
eggs.
around shooting gold lasers at people. And so, yeah, like a pitched battle erupts suddenly outside between the Mingasi and the remaining Jackers. Slipknot says to you, he's like, I'm gonna try, but I got the entire Empire on my ass right now.
If you don't destroy this ship, it's gonna crash into the reef. A lot of people are gonna die.
I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, Quinn, but the reef is fucked. And we cut to the reef, and there's all these people running around like, oh, God! Is it like the
We
planet's
gotta
like
give 'em time
cracking
to-
in
Give
half?
them time to get off.
Buildings just cracking
Yeah,
in half
exactly.
and splitting.
Shit falling and
Yeah.
like breaking apart. The planet is like sliding in half. But he says, I'll see what I can do. And then he crackles out. You hear him shouting orders to somebody else.
Yeah. Quinn throws Aurora and Dave in the space car, whatever the hell that is.
Throw him in the back seat of the
Yeah.
space car.
And then
Space Cadillac.
Yeah.
Space Caddy. And then goes to one of the teeth and hacker jacks the balls out of it.
Nice. So you get thrown in the back seat of this Cadillac with Dave. So you get thrown in, and then Dave kind of falls against you, and he's like, ah, and like reaches under him. He's like, hey, cheeseburger. He just starts unwrapping it. And he looks around, and he's like, man, heck of a day, huh? I'm like,
And I'm like, you got another one of those?
he's like, looks around, he's like, and he like pulls out a milkshake, and he's like,
No, I want the burger.
he gives you the burger.
Thanks.
So so you want to run.
Humans.
You run over to
Humans.
the teeth that have locked shut.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I want to hacker jack them open, at least one down.
The gold one that we made.
Oh yeah, because that one's
The emergency, gold
Yeah.
like laser tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. There's a console nearby.
Sure.
Okay. So make a clever roll.
Sure.
And
Clever.
cleverly overcome. I think
Got
it's obstacles.
Sure,
Obstacles
okay.
3.
At least it's not sneaky.
Ooh, that's a bad roll.
That is a -1.
Okay.
But because I'm a jacker hacker, of course I know what I'm doing.
Of course.
And more importantly, because I am the Blixnort,
So this is
hero
this is-
time.
Right.
Of course I do this stuff. I do this
Alright,
stuff
so
every damn
so
day.
you run over, and this is when the like Blixnort theme and the Jacker Hacker theme, like we realize that they
They're the
play
exact
perfect.
same
You
thing.
can
They're
play
the
them,
same
you can
song.
overlap them, and they Pink Floyd perfectly.
Yeah, of course.
So and so both of these things, and so you're here to save your friends with both the power of feelings and jacking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Your
So-
soundtrack's just like a remix of the two.
but of course, because Jacker hacking to an outsider just looks like you're ruining the thing. You just like
I'm just
yank-
ripping through circuits. Yeah,
ripping the panel off.
But there's skill involved.
Yeah.
There's
You can't tell if you can tell
There's an
just by
art
looking,
form.
unless
Yeah.
you're also a jacker hacker. Yeah. All right, so you tear the wires free and sparks fucking flying everywhere, and one of the teeth starts to recede, and you can feel like again the atmosphere all getting sucked out because you just
Yeah.
open the bay doors, so you have to make your way back to the car.
No, Quinn's like, go.
Okay.
Because as we've discovered, I have a breathing apparatus. So I'll be fine. My body can survive in space just
Sure,
fine.
of
I
course.
fought a battle in space.
That's true. That's
yeah.
very
So
true.
I just want them
Yeah.
to get out. So then I'll follow.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't trust Dave driving while under the influence, so
You
I
shouldn't. Valuable lesson.
I start driving, but I actually
Wasn't he your pilot for a while?
I
He
believe
was.
He did. Yes.
He
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But I you know.
They aimlessly floated through space while he was high.
Also,
That
didn't
was
he just like
piloting
make
for them.
brownies and stuff instead of steering the ship?
Space Hot Pockets.
Space
I
Hot
believe is what
Pockets.
he
Yeah.
made.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so you wanna pilot the now? Where do you want to go?
well, I want to stop and see if you'll get in.
No, I'm like on a platform
He's
up
Gandalfing
above.
you so hard right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess
You
I'm
gotta-
gonna go find Rex because I know that he was still in the room.
Oh. Good.
Okay, so you want to leave the ship and then just fly around scanning for Rex?
Well, do you, he won't be. Is he like far away from the ship now?
No, you should.
You don't know where he is.
You should get out and go to the.
He's vanished. You have
Yeah.
no. You have no.
We know.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he'd still be near the ship. but if
Rex's
he's
last
not,
scene was like a shadow of a ship
Then I'm going to the Electrotronian ship.
of him.
I'm
Yeah.
going straight there, and I'm gonna have to consult with Grandpa about what to do next.
Okay.
So-
All right. Cool. So you get in the car, and all right. So you're gonna need to make a roll because as soon as you get out of the mouth of Jack's like tilting, collapsing ship, there's just
I'm
space
gonna-
battle everywhere.
There's thousands
Well-
of fighters,
Yeah.
and you're
Fabergé
in a
eggs
slow
flying
moving,
around, and you're in a
like Jack-a-Hacker Cadillac.
yeah.
There's like
Bum, 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 bum.
as we're going along.
Dave's
though,
like a fucking beam of laser like shoots through his milkshake. He's like, oh,
floating in.
yeah,
Oh,
it's just like
damn.
split.
It's shaky.
I want to use
was
debris
strong.
not only from the ship but of other destroyed ships. I want to use the debris to try and navigate like through it.
Okay, are you
so
trying-
that way I'm trying to like blend in with
Right,
like.
you're trying to hide. You're trying to be sneaky rather than be fast.
Well, not just. Well, I don't want to. I can't. I don't think I can just be fast. I mean, we could try to zip all the way through them, but we're gonna be targets, and
You
I'm
just
trying.
want to evasive.
Yeah,
Evasive. So,
I
like,
want evasive maneuvers. I want
Right.
I want to basically like if I see an enemy ship over here, go on this side.
Yeah, in his
and
way,
be able to evade.
In his way, Dave will assist. He's just like spaceship, lasers. So you get a plus.
Spaceship.
You get a +1.
Spaceship.
Spaceship. He points at the car. Spaceship. So
Dave's best character in the show.
God damn it. Fucking
all right.
Dave.
So you get a +1 to your roll. I think that they're all pretty distracted doing stuff. So let's call it difficulty 2.
Okay.
You're doing sneaky because
Am I? Okay.
you got a +1
Whoa.
So it's just
and a +1 from Dave.
so it's
Yeah,
two.
You got 2.
Yeah, I got
All right.
2.
Good work.
Cool. All right, smooth
Yay.
flying. All right, so you're able to make it to the Electrotronian ship. We see you take off and head that direction. Quinn,
Yeah.
cut back to you. Shit is just going fucking nuts. Like the hangar base falling apart. All that dangling cargo or whatever is just crashing onto the floor. What are you gonna do?
Quinn sort of gets to the because at this point I feel like the hangar is slowly already like fully decompressed, and so he floats towards the entrance and launches himself kind of like push off from the tooth in the direction of where Slipknot's ship was,
Okay.
and I hope that I can do something cool on the way, but my plan is just to get there, and I'm gonna use my tail like.
That's not how that works. There's
That's totally how that
there's
works.
nothing to push off
It's
of.
not water.
Yeah. So you push yourself off,
No,
and
I'm
we
using
get.
my tail to steer because the
No, but
momentum of
That's
me.
not physics.
There
Don't
would-
work. There's
there would
nothing
needs
to push
be air
against.
for you to
Yeah.
do that.
I mean, you are wiggling it, and you look
I'm
cool.
wiggling
You
it.
look
It
like
looks
you're
cool.
doing a
It
crocodile.
does look cool. It looks
How
cool.
dare you bring real science into this show? That has not been a
Use the
thing since the
debris as
beginning.
well.
It does look
I'm
cool.
just saying, it's still
Push off us.
space. So you leap out into space, and yeah, immediately like it's like running out. It's like playing Frogger. You run out onto a highway. There's just spaceships flying all over the place. You see a guy on a space Harley like hit one of the Fabergé eggs with a chain, and it breaks open, and circuitry flies everywhere. There's lasers and.
Oh, I want to try and claw on the back of a space Harley.
Okay, as somebody goes by.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I
Make
want to
a
ride with someone on a space
make
Harley.
a quick roll. Difficulty 4.
A quick roll?
Yeah.
Difficulty 4. All right. Well, that's a
1.
1.
Okay.
But because I am actually screw it. I want to miss. I want to miss. I want to try and grab onto a guy and just start plummeting through space.
I think, yeah, you lash out with your claw. You drag your claws across the side of like a sexy pinup lady on the side of his car, and gas starts coming out, and the guy driving is like, what the fuck? And he spins off, like blows up, crashes into something, and then, yeah, you spin off in the other direction, and that's sort of the last we see of you for now is just you drifting through space.
Sure.
So we cut to a room. It is dimly lit. It's kind of like a dark room. It's dimly lit, but with red overhead lights, kind of harsh metal grating, and we hear a like crash sound as someone throws you onto the floor. And then we see a black gloved hand like slap you in the face. And slap you, goes like, "Wake up, asshole!" Like, slaps it. slap. And we see her eyes blink open. And above you, you see the wraith-like visage of Thuja Mayhem. And she's just like crouched over you, like slapping you in the face. Like, hey, are you dead? Hey, hey,
Rex,
fuckface.
Rex groans and he's like, "Death, take me."
And she kind of grins a little and she's like, I don't like you like that anymore. And she sort of like gets off of you and like yanks you to your feet. And she's wearing her like flight suit. So she's got this like kind of onesie, like sealed kind of rubber and leather thing with some spikes on it because they have to.
I have spikes.
Yeah, all the buttons are skulls. It's fine. And so she yanks you to your feet, and she says, "It's a fucking mess out there."
Oh, Eugene,
She looks at you like, "Who?"
where the slime? Where is he?
She shakes her head. I don't know. I didn't see any slime. We just saw you floating out there. I wouldn't have even noticed you except. And he looks over his shoulder, and you see the princess, and we get the like romantic like strings kind of come up in the background, and like it's you lit in red, and you see her, and she looks like worried but happy that you're okay. She doesn't look well. She looks sick. There's like dark pits under her eyes. She has like a blanket wrapped around her shoulders. And she looks like there's something wrong with her. You can like see her veins like in her face. But still there's the kind of like the rise of the romantic strings in the soundtrack. And in the background we just see Thuja go like waiting for you to stop staring at each other.
Yeah.
And then Idina comes up to you and like weakly says like, I'm glad you're all right.
You don't look good. I mean, you look good. You look great.
I'm glad you're all right. You look like shit.
But
She nods, and she says, I think I'm sick. Something happened. That pulse. I haven't been feeling well ever since. We need to get out of here. And she looks at Thuja, and Thuja gives her a like, fucking finally, let's go. And Thuja heads to the cockpit.
wait, Eugene has the scepter.
We don't have time for that now.
What do you mean?
My uncle is here, all of his ships. If they catch me, if they find us, I don't want to think about that. The scepter was lost for 1,000 years. It can stay a few more days. We'll find it again.
I don't give a fuck about the scepter.
And she kind of like looks at you like, what?
I need to find my squad. And Eugene is floating through space.
She kind of looks at you, and she looks at Thuja, who's standing in the doorway. Like, are we going? Are we gonna leave?
What direction was I going?
And she says, well, you were just sort of drifting.
Right. So head that way.
I mean, maybe we can. Do you have we need something to track your friend. A sample, something for the scanners.
Do I have anything on me?
I don't know. Maybe if you want to like,
A locket of his
you can
time.
compel to have
Can I
left a piece behind.
All right.
You can compel Eugene.
All right, I
Sure.
compel you to have left.
Which letter? What?
A
So
letter.
you're like, you pat yourself down, and out of your pocket you pull a tiny blob.
Hold on. I found the roller. I found
when
it.
you wrestled
Hold
the
on.
stuff from
Yeah.
me.
Hold on.
So we pull a tiny, sad-looking, glistening ball of goo
Roll.
from your pocket, and it forms a tiny mouth.
What? No, not that. Not a 2d6. D26. 26. I lose Z.
Okay. So it looks like it's sleeping. So you pull it out, and it's got little closed eyes, and it's just like, zzz, 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 and you're just like, and she looks at it, and she says, "You and your friends are very strange."
Rex is just like, that smart son of a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of like cradles it gently, like it's a little like baby bird, and she takes it over to the cockpit. And Thuja's like, "We can't stay here. We have to leave. Only the shards are safe now. The Imperium won't find us there." And Idina's like, "Shh, Thuja, please." And Thuja remarkably just like goes quiet, like she's just like doesn't say anything, doesn't fight back. And Idina like sets the little guy down on a little plate that starts to glow, and the scanner appears in the cockpit of her ship, and we see an arcing line that goes around the other side of the planet, and it's like blinking lights.
Okay.
And she says she starts to talk, and I think she gets like starts coughing.
Mm.
And then she stops and she looks at you and she says, "I'm sorry, we don't have much time. The planet isn't in very good shape. If you're going to find your friend, we have to do it quickly. And then after that, we're leaving. Scepter or no?" And
You got
when
it.
she says scepter or no, she looks at Thuja because like you can tell they've had this argument before.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we see.
Rex is like, work on this. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
He takes himself into an empty room and attempts to speak to
Okay.
the prince.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you like go in and you sit down and you're like, open your eyes, look around. Nothing.
Prince? Prince? Come on, bud. I need you.
Can you make a I want you to make a roll, and I think it's gonna be careful maybe because you're like trying to concentrate and like focus, right? Yeah, make a careful roll at 2.
Okay.
Oh boy.
No good.
Okay. All right.
That is a 0.
All right.
No, that's a -2.
It's a -2.
So here's what happens, and this is actually going to be good for sort of like the last scene. So you see in front of you fade into view a sort of staticky outline of the prince. Like every time you'd seen him, he might as well have been real, but now he's as if you're seeing him through like deep water, and he's all kind of like blurry. And you can see he's saying something. Like he's trying to talk to you, and he's like reaching out to you. Yeah, and he's like kind of like flickering and fading. What do you
Okay.
do?
I just call out his name.
Okay.
Can't understand you.
Uh,
What are you doing?
And he comes closer to you and sort of congeals a little more, and you can sort of make out his face, and you can see him, and he puts his hand on your shoulder, and you feel like a chill kind of like run through you, and he says "It's been a good ride, Rex, but you're on your own now." And he starts to like fade out. Do you have any last words for the prince?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So he
It's kind of like dumbstruck.
yeah, he like evaporates into space, and you're just sitting there. And the last shot before we go to break is just you on the like bunk, alone in this room, this red room, as the ship like takes off towards the planet.
Okay.
Cool. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more Roleplay Live, Nebula Jazz. Stick around.
Whoops. Sorry.